Ooh, look at that. We have a rather nice day with the weather. We have a little bit of sunshine, even though it has been raining all morning. We have had so much rain over the past 12 hours. You would not believe it. We are back together again, coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language. And guess what? We have a very busy day today. We have a lot of things to talk about. Quite a few anniversaries taking place today. Of course, I am coming to you live right now from, you know where it is, I know where it is. Come on, Mr. Duncan, get on with it. Doo-doo! We are back together. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? I hope you are feeling good. Today we've had a lot of rain, even though it is rather mild. Outside we have 13 Celsius. It doesn't quite feel as if summer has arrived just yet, but I have a feeling that it is on its way. So I am Duncan. I talk about English. I am an English addict, as it says here on my rather stained t-shirt. I discovered recently that you cannot get toothpaste out of a dark shirt. So I've washed this shirt, and a few days ago I did get some toothpaste on my shirt. But even after washing, the toothpaste is still there. If this is what it does to your shirt, imagine what it does to your teeth and in your mouth. That is probably why your teeth are always so shiny after you brush them. Here we go then. It is lovely to have you here. We are with you on the 23rd of April. This month has gone by very quickly. Also, can I just say, today is a significant day for many, many reasons. First of all, I will mention one of the big stories that everyone is talking about here, and I have a feeling in many other countries as well. Today it is St. George's Day. St. George's Day is celebrated on this date every year, even though this year things are slightly different because St. George's Day traditionally is a religious festival. A lot of people celebrate this around the world, including here in England, because St. George was made the saint of England. But many other people also around the world celebrate this particular date as well. This year, slightly different. Now, because St. George's Day comes in the same week as Easter, apparently they are moving the official date a little bit further away. So I think this has actually been announced by the Church of England in this country. So we are actually officially celebrating St. George's Day on the 28th instead of the 23rd. And it is all connected to the fact that it comes so close to Easter. So if you are celebrating somehow St. George's Day, can I just say happy St. George's Day to you wherever you are watching in the world if you are celebrating it. A lot of people here, normally people will put up flags. Quite often they will raise the England flag, which of course is different from what we often call the Union flag. The Union flag is the one that you recognise that is red, white and blue. The England flag is a white background with a red cross on the front. So they are very different from each other. So St George's Day is often celebrated in England with lots of flag waving, and I do remember growing up there would be all sorts of celebrations taking place on St George's Day. Although nowadays it doesn't happen as much. Some people are not very pleased about that because they see it as a type of traditional event. Although over the years many people, I suppose it is a combination of two things. One, of course, the demographics in this country have changed over the years. So you have a different population. I suppose you would describe it as multicultural, multi-faith in this country. So that might be one of the reasons why fewer people are observing St George's Day. Of course, there might be many other reasons as well. People perhaps have just lost interest in that particular thing. Traditions, they do eventually fade away. Whatever those traditions are, you often find over time they will slowly fade away and disappear. And of course, we often see this particular celebration as a little bit controversial as well. Some people become very patriotic during the period of St George's Day. They become very excited for various reasons that I'm not going to go into at the moment. So that is one of the celebrations taking place today. We also have a couple of birthdays as well today. Big birthdays. If I said to you, one of the birthdays taking place today concerns me, maybe that will give you some sort of clue. All of that coming up a little bit later on. Also, we are talking about quantity, the amount of something. Quite often when you have something or you ask for something, you will ask for a certain quantity. So there are many ways of using the word quantity, and we will be looking at that today as well. Also, of course, we have the live chat. It would not be English Addict without you on the live chat. So I will say hello to the live chat. It is nice to have you here today. Who was first? Oh, very interesting. We have in first place Beatrice. Congratulations, Beatrice. You are first on today's live chat. In second place, not quite fast enough today, but you are in second place, Vitas. Also we have, yes, he is here, the one, the only, Luis Mendez is here today. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you as well. A little bit of drama taking place this morning at the back of the house. As you may know, we have recently had a lovely, friendly pheasant come into the garden. And quite often it will come into the garden, and recently it has also brought its girlfriend as well into the garden. However, this morning our lovely male pheasant had a fight. He got involved in a fight with another male pheasant. And if you've ever seen pheasants fighting, it is quite horrific to watch. So that's what happened this morning. And just a few moments ago, as I was starting my live stream, the pheasant, our lovely pheasant, came into the garden. Unfortunately, it is injured. Unfortunately, it has been injured during the fight. It was having difficulty walking around, unfortunately, but I did give it some lovely seeds. So at the moment it is standing by the door at the back of the house, and it is not in very good condition at the moment. It has been injured. You know what it's like in nature. All animals have this particular thing. Whenever they meet with a rival, your opponent, a person who is against you, we often describe them as your rival. So, of course, during the mating season with many animals, the males will become quite protective of the area in which they are living. And, of course, if they have a mate, and let's not forget, male pheasants have more than one mate. They sometimes have 3 or 4 females with them at the same time. So you can probably imagine male pheasants will be very protective of their mates. I think so. So sadly, our little pheasant is not feeling very well, unfortunately. And of course, the same thing happens to humans as well, with human beings. Male humans can also be very protective of their partner, their girlfriend or their wife. So they will be protective. If they think that another man is looking at their girlfriend, they might become a little bit annoyed, let's just say. It does happen. Also, I suppose I should mention the sad news on Monday with the Pope passing away, and I would imagine it would be big news and also sad news in Argentina, because of course Pope Francis came from Argentina. I remember at the time when he became Pope, it was a huge story, breaking with many traditions. If you break with tradition, it means you do something different. You take a different route. You go a different way. You think outside the box. You do something that is unconventional. Ooh, I like that word. So if you do something that is breaking with tradition, it means you are doing something slightly different. So some very sad news. A lot of people around the world feeling rather unhappy about that news. And of course now the search goes on for the next Pope. Who will it be? Now I imagine maybe there should be some sort of, I don't know, maybe a talent show or maybe something where people could directly choose the next Pope. I'm not being offensive, by the way, so maybe you could find a new way of choosing the next leader of the Catholic Church. So it could happen. Moving up to date, you see, because a lot of people now like to get involved with all of these things. Voting for everything nowadays. Not only your president, not only your leaders, not only your prime ministers, but also other things as well. So it could happen. It might happen. I have a feeling it won't happen. But again, if you break with tradition, you try something different. You go in a different direction. Can I say hello to Alessandra? Hello, Alessandra. Nice to see you here as well. Fatima is here. Fatima Osorio. I hope I pronounced your name right. I eventually got it right. Hello, Fatima. Is it your first time? Welcome, and I hope you enjoy the world of English with me, Mr. Duncan. Hello, Kevin. Kevin is here as well. Palmyra is here as well. Who else is here? Giovanni Rivetti is here. Hello, Giovanni. I hope you are feeling better today because I know you've had one or two problems. So I hope you are feeling good today. Hello to the dear English survivors. Are you okay? I hope so. I'm not sure what you mean by that. The English survivors. Wow. That sounds very dramatic, by the way. Freeman is here. Hello, Freeman. Are you? Are you a free man? Sometimes we have special awards given to a person who has served their local community in a very useful or beneficial way, and we will make them the freeman of the city. Or, of course, free woman or free person. So it is a kind of local award that is often given to someone who has served their local community well. Can I say hello to Ong Trum? Hello, I hope you all have a good time in this class. Well, I always like to think that we all have a good time here in the class. I hope so. Who else is here today? Hamuteen. Hello, Hamuteen, who is watching at the moment. I don't know where you are, but you can tell me if you want. I'm always interested to find out where you are. We also have Claudia. Claudia is here today. It's very nice to have you back with me once more. Who else is here? That's it, I think. That is it. That is it for now. If you want to say hello, please say hello, and I will try to say hello in return to you. We have a very special birthday taking place today, a very important one. And you might say that this particular birthday also concerns me. In fact, it has something to do with what you are watching at the moment. I will put something on the screen and I will see if you can guess. So there it is, a very average looking picture. Nothing special there. It looks like a young man taking a trip somewhere. He's visiting a special place. It looks a little bit like a zoo. So we have a young guy visiting the zoo, and this is something that is very important. You might describe this as a milestone of internet technology and the way in which human beings interact with each other. I wonder if anyone can guess. So this particular thing you can see on the screen at the moment is actually a screenshot of a very famous video. And it is a video that was uploaded on this very day, 20 years ago. I won't keep you guessing for too long. 20 years ago today, the first ever YouTube video was uploaded. 20 years. So happy birthday to YouTube. YouTube is celebrating its 20th birthday. It was on this day, way back in 2005, when YouTube first started showing and allowing people to upload videos. And of course, just a few months later, a certain English teacher, in fact, the very first English teacher on YouTube. That's me, by the way. So this is not my celebration. My big celebration comes a little bit later on, when I have my 20th anniversary, which of course is next year. So my anniversary on YouTube is next year, but I will be celebrating my 20th anniversary next year. I know what you're thinking. That is impossible, Mr. Duncan. How could you have been here on YouTube for almost 20 years? But it's true. So happy birthday to YouTube. Happy birthday to YouTube. Happy birthday to YouTube. And this also the first ever video that was published on YouTube, our day at the zoo, was uploaded on this date in 2005. Can you believe it? 20 years ago. And I was here on YouTube from the very beginning. Well, not quite the very beginning, but very close to the beginning. And all I can say is that YouTube is a very different website to what it was way back in 2006 when I first joined. And the rest, as they say, is history, because 19 years later I'm still here doing this, and I will be celebrating my 19th anniversary on YouTube on October the 31st. October the 31st this year. My 19th anniversary. Very nice to see everyone here. We are going to talk about quite a few things today. It is also another celebration today, yet another birthday. That I will mention in a few moments from now. You know I love words and I love phrases so much. Here is an interesting phrase that I've heard used quite a lot recently. Here it is. Today's interesting phrase is heavy-handed. To do something heavy-handed. What does it mean, Mr. Duncan? What does it mean to be heavy-handed? The meaning of this phrase is to be over-aggressive, an over-aggressive manner or method of doing something. So when we talk about heavy-handed, we are talking about a person who is doing something in a very aggressive way. Maybe they are being too forceful. You are doing something with too much force. You are being heavy-handed. For example, here we go. We have a little sentence here. The police used heavy-handed procedures during the raid. To be heavy-handed means you are using a lot of force. You are being aggressive. One person I know very well who is a little bit heavy-handed is Mr. Steve. I don't know what it is about Steve, but whenever he does something with his hands, he picks something up or he tries to move something, he is very heavy-handed. I remember once we had a grasshopper in the house. I found it in the bedroom and it was hopping around. So Mr. Steve decided to take the grasshopper and put it outside. The only problem is that Mr. Steve quite often is heavy-handed with things. Let's just say by the time the grasshopper was outside, it had at least 3 of its legs missing. And that's Mr. Steve. That's what he does. He's very heavy-handed when he's doing things. So by the time the poor grasshopper was outside, it was hopping around in circles. It couldn't actually go anywhere. thanks to Mr. Steve and his big, giant hands. Another interesting phrase coming next week. We might even have some on Sunday as well. For those who want to know who Mr. Steve is and what he does, we will have Mr. Steve on the live chat next Sunday. We'll take a quick break and then we will be back with some more English words, English sentences, English phrases, lots and lots of English things, because this is English Addict.
I'm a big boy now.
This is English Addict. Hello. Oh. Can I just point out that Mr. Steve did not pull the legs off the grasshopper on purpose? He didn't mean to do it. It's just that when he does things, he doesn't do it gently. He's very heavy-handed. He uses his hands in the same way, whatever it is he is doing. There is no answer to that. And please don't give me any answers either. Oh, we have another birthday today. There's a lot of things taking place. Not only is it the anniversary of St. George falling off his horse, it is also the anniversary of YouTube having its first ever video posted onto the site, and today it is also the birthday of the bard himself. Of course, the one, the only, William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, born in 1564, which makes him 461 years old today. He looks very good, doesn't he, for his age, I have to say. William. Will. Can I call you Will? Can I call you Bill? Can I call you Willie? You are looking wonderful today. And I notice you have your cup of tea as well, and your lovely scone. Oh, very nice. Very elegant. And you are sitting down to write your latest masterpiece. I wonder what you will come up with. Of course, a lot of people know William Shakespeare for many reasons. By the way, can I just point out, there is a lot of doubt over when William Shakespeare was actually born, the actual date. So most people say that it is the 23rd of April, which just happens to be the same date he died. So I think that's the reason why. If you're not sure, just celebrate his birthday on the same date that he supposedly died as well. So he would be 461 years old today, and I have to say I am rather comforted by the fact that he also suffers from male pattern baldness. It goes to show that even if you are losing your hair, you can still do a lot of things with your life. Thank you, William Shakespeare, for giving me lots of encouragement with your writing and also your male pattern baldness as well. Of course, William Shakespeare is often mentioned when we talk about the English language. I suppose he was in many ways responsible for the changes that took place and also the popularity of the English language, which might sound like a very strange thing to say, but not everyone could read and write way back in the 16th century. So not everyone could write or read. And a lot of people were, how can I put this in a delicate way? They were illiterate. They did not know how to write or read. So Shakespeare is responsible for making English popular and bringing it into the forefront of modern communication. So Middle English is often referred to as the era of William Shakespeare, and also how English changed over the years as well. And there are many phrases, many things that Shakespeare wrote that he created himself, but also things that he made popular. So many people believe that Shakespeare created many of the phrases that we use today. But it would be fair to say that also Shakespeare was responsible for making certain phrases and words more popular also. So he may have been a very good playwright. He came up with some brilliant sonnets, and he used a lot of interesting phrases, some of which he created himself and some that already were created, but he helped to make them popular. And if you look closely on the screen, you can see many of the phrases that Shakespeare used in his writing, and you can see some good examples. At the top, you can see in a pickle. If you are in a pickle, it means you have a very difficult situation to solve. You have something that you have to solve that is hard to put right. You are in a pickle. So we often use phrases that Shakespeare made popular, and we often use them in very interesting ways, and I think it is always worthwhile remembering that. Here's another one, heart of gold. Heart of gold, a phrase that Shakespeare used. Here's another one, I like this one, good riddance. Good riddance. If you are glad to see something go, if you are glad to see something leave, you can say good riddance. Break the ice. If you break the ice, it means you begin something, you start something, you do something that gets something else underway. For goodness sake. That is something Mr. Steve says quite a lot. For goodness sake, Mr. Duncan. Can you please shut up? Love is blind is another one that Shakespeare used. Something that might vanish into thin air is something that disappears. So if something suddenly vanishes into thin air, it means it has disappeared without warning, and no one knows where it has gone. So you can see there are many, many different phrases that Shakespeare has used. Some of these he created, and some of them he did not create. He just helped to make them more popular than they were. So I hope that was useful and helpful, because today we are celebrating Shakespeare's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Shakespeare. I hope you are feeling all right. Beatrice says we use heart of gold a lot, but I didn't know it was from William Shakespeare. Many phrases that became used were made more popular by William Shakespeare, because when you think about it, books, stories, writing, all of those things, they are often used as a way of passing on knowledge, but also giving people skills as well. And as I mentioned earlier, two of the most important skills that any person can have is the ability to write and also to read as well. Without those things, you will find that life will be quite difficult indeed, to be honest with you. So we do have William Shakespeare to thank for all of that. Thank you, William Shakespeare. Oh dear, where would we be without William Shakespeare? I don't know. I really don't. I don't. I have no idea. I can't even answer it. I heard the first cuckoo yesterday. I was in the garden hanging out the washing. I had to wash Mr. Steve's dirty underpants, and I was hanging them on the line, and suddenly, in the distance, I could hear the unmistakable sound of the cuckoo. The cuckoo. The first cuckoo. Many years ago, people would write a letter to the Times newspaper telling everyone that they had heard the first cuckoo. of the year. And it became a huge tradition for everyone to listen out for the first cuckoo. And then what you would do, you would write a letter to the newspaper, and then it would be published in the paper. You are probably thinking, why, Mr. Duncan? Why would people do this? It's because we are English. And sometimes we are, let's just say sometimes we are a little bit eccentric, to say the least. We are live with you today, and we are live with you on a Wednesday. It's Wednesday today, by the way. I hope you are having a good day. We have a subject to talk about to finish today's live stream. We are looking at quantity. And I think this is a very interesting word because it will be involved in many parts of our lives. We talk about quantity in many different ways, and of course in many different situations as well. You will find quantity is often mentioned. The word quantity is a noun that means the amount of something, either particular or indefinite. Something that is particular is one certain thing. Something that is indefinite is something that goes on and on for a long time. And if we are talking about quantity, that can refer to something that is huge or large, a large quantity of something. You might describe the ocean as an indefinite quantity. It seems to go on forever and ever. So when we talk about quantity, we are talking about a certain quantity. You might have a certain quantity of a certain thing, one particular thing. You might have a small quantity of something. And it can be anything. Something you can have, something you can hold. Maybe a type of food. You can have a small quantity of something. And then you have the opposite. We can also have the opposite. You can have a vast quantity. When we talk about vast quantity, we are talking about a large amount. Vast. Something that is vast is large, big. It is a lot of things. It is a large quantity. So there are many ways of expressing quantity using size. You can have a certain quantity of something, a small quantity, which is not much, and also a vast quantity, which is many. The quantity is the amount. The amount of something is the quantity of the thing that you have. An exact or specified amount or measure. So when we talk about amount of something, it is the actual thing. When we are talking about the measure of something, we are talking about a precise amount of something. You are expressing the actual amount of something. And in that sense, we will also use the word quantity as well. As an exact amount, such as that required in a recipe or when creating a mixture using various ingredients. So in this sense, you might be making a cake. You might be following a recipe. Or maybe you are creating something by mixing lots of things together. You add a quantity to that mixture. So the word quantity is often used in situations where we are creating something, making something, or following instructions to make something. We might ask ourselves, how much is needed? What is the quantity? So again, this is a common question you will ask yourself. How much is needed? What is the quantity? How much do I need to add? So perhaps if you are following a recipe, maybe you have to add a certain amount of sugar or salt or water to your mixture. How much do I need to add? What is the quantity? We often describe the quantity as the amount required. So the amount that is required is the quantity, the amount that you need to do something. A quantity can be fixed or controlled. In this sense, we are saying that it is a certain amount. No more and no less. That is the quantity. So the amount required is the quantity. Anything, and I mean anything that can be measured, can also be expressed in quantity. So when you think about all of the things you have in your daily life, such as money, water, air, sand. Mr. Duncan, when do we need sand? Please tell me, when do we need sand? Well, you might be building a house and you might need some cement. Cement contains sand and water. You might also have to add a certain quantity of sugar, salt, flour, or wood. Quantity is the amount. We can also express quantity as length, size, area, magnitude. The musical notes also have quantity. It is a term that is often used in music to describe the length of a note, the quantity. Landmass. When we talk about landmass, we are talking about an area. So maybe if you are buying some land, you will buy a quantity. That area of land is the quantity you are buying. That is the amount. And then, of course, we can look at logic. Logic refers to the way we think, the way we use our mind, the way we see the world around us, and the way we make sense of the world around us. Also, mathematics as well. You can have quantity in mathematics. We are talking about numbers, sums, different types of mathematics. Quite often we will use quantity in many types of mathematical equation. As an adjective, a thing that can be measured is quantifiable. Something is quantifiable. Something can be measured. Something can be expressed as a quantity. A thing that can be expressed in some sort of measurement. A measurable thing is quantifiable. It can be expressed in quantity. In verb form, you will quantify something. So if you are trying to work out, if you are trying to come up with an answer concerning the quantity of something, we can say that you quantify something. You are putting something into a number or a certain amount. You quantify something. And again, we can use that in many ways as well. To ask for a quantity of something is the required amount. You might have to express how many. How many do you want? How much? How much do you want? Many is normally items, things. Much. How much do you want quite often refers to an amount in numbers. For example, money is often expressed as how much. How much money do you want? How much money can I borrow? We are asking about the quantity. And then how long? How long is something? Well, we can describe length, how long something is, or we can also express time as well as a quantity. So even time can be measured as quantity. How long will it take? How long will you stay? How long will the journey take? The quantity of time. How much time? How long will you be? And of course, if we are talking about how much something will cost, we will often ask, what is the amount? Or if you want a certain amount of something, you will also ask, what is the amount? How much do you want? What is the amount that you need? Moving on, quantity can be expressed as a plural. So not a lot of people realise this, that sometimes you can talk about quantity in the plural sense when more than one amount is required. So maybe you are making a cake, you are making something, and you have to have lots of different ingredients. You need to have different quantities. So in that sense, we are using it as the plural. The quantities of what you need to make a cake. The amounts of each individual thing. Overall, we will describe them as the quantities. So even though it sounds strange, you can use it in that way. Quantity can be expressed in many ways. We can say some. I want some. I want a little. I want a lot. I want many. I want a big one. I want a small one. I want a large amount. I want something that is large, something big. The amount, the quantity is big, small, large. We can also use other ways of expressing quantity. We can say we want loads of something. I want loads of likes on my YouTube channel. Please, can I have loads of likes on my YouTube channel? So that, once again, is a quantity. It is a number. However, we are not specifying, we are not saying exactly what the number is. Loads means many. I want loads of kisses on my birthday. We can also say lots. I want lots of money. I would love to have lots of money. The quantity is not being measured, but we do know that it is a large amount. We can also say a pile of something, a pile of coal, a pile of rocks. Pile just means a large quantity that has been collected and gathered together. Pile. Not to be confused with the other one, which a lot of elderly gentlemen get. Then we can say not much. Not much. Not much is few. Not many. It is a small amount. Not much. Then you might be very specific with the amount. You might say you want a handful of something. Can I have a handful of sweets? Can I have a handful of coins? You want a certain amount, just enough to hold in your hand. And then, of course, we have a very interesting word that I'm going to explain because I love this word. Glut. I'm not sure if you've heard of this word, but it is a very interesting word, and I love this word very much. The word glut. What is a glut? Mr. Duncan, please tell us. A glut is a large quantity of something, normally stored or kept in a certain place. It can also refer to oversupply of a certain thing. In other words, oversupply means you are giving or receiving too much of something. The word glut can also be used in that sense as well. Too much of one thing is a glut. Too much. We have too much of that thing. There is a glut. You might have a glut of oil. Something that has been mentioned a lot in the news at the moment. Glut. The price of oil is falling because there is a glut in the reserves. That means there is a lot of it. And as we all know, if you have a lot of something, its value will fall. If you have a little of something, the value will go up, or it will be high in value. So there are many ways of using the word glut. A large amount of something, or perhaps too much of something. Too much is available. There is too much of that particular thing. The supply of something might outweigh the demand. So again, this is a very interesting phrase that we often use. Supply and demand. Supply is going out. Demand is what is wanted. That always has to be slightly less than that. Because if you have too much of that, then the value of what people want will go down. That is a glut. A very interesting word. There is an oversupply of something. And this might be something that a lot of people are using at the moment to discuss the events around the world. Glut. So there it is. I hope that word is one that will be useful to you, and perhaps you will hear it. Ong Trum asks about the word bulk. Bulk means volume. Volume is size of something. So when we talk about bulk, we mean size. It can also be used to describe quantity as well, the amount of something. Normally, a lot of something, a large amount is bulk. A person who is carrying too much weight on their body, they might say that they have a little bit too much bulk around their waist. So the word bulk can also refer to quantity as well. You are right. Thank you very much for mentioning that. It's very nice to have you here today, all of you. Thank you very much for joining me today. I will be going in a moment. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream, and guess what? You will be able to watch today's live stream again and again with captions later on. So don't worry, I will have some captions on the screen, and you will be able to choose your own language as well from my little list. So don't forget, whenever I post a video on YouTube, there is always a list of languages. So you can watch the video and read the captions in your own language, and that will help you to learn English. Thank you for watching, and of course, don't forget, if you want to subscribe, please subscribe to me, and I will be ever so pleased. Just click the subscribe button, and if you want to give me a like as well, that would also be super duper. I am back on Sunday. I will see you on Sunday. I am here with Mr. Steve on Sunday, and guess what? We are here for 2 hours on Sunday. Can you believe it? Not 1 hour, 2 hours on Sunday. So I hope you will join us then. Thank you very much for your company. This is Mr. Duncan, that's me by the way, saying thank you very much. Have a happy day. Stay happy, keep that smile upon your face as you walk amongst the human race, and I will see you on Sunday. Don't forget also to look out for my new English lessons. There are lots and lots of new English lessons going onto my YouTube channel. I don't think I've ever been so busy as I have recently. And I will see you later. Until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Take care of yourselves. And, of course, ta-ta for now.